last rain out here in Anaheim was back in 2015. They had to put the tarp on the field earlier because with all the humidity, there's a lot of moisture in the area. In fact, some of the players like Andrelton Simmons even helped put the tarp on the field. But now a rainbow, which means that we are going to get some comfortable temperatures and some baseball here in Southern California. The Phils fans are settling in. It's the Phils and the Angels. It's game one of a 3-game series. All right, so the Phillies' schedule coming up, 15 of the next 19 games are on the road. It includes 3 here in Anaheim and then 3 in Colorado. The only home games are 4 against the New York Mets, but it's right back out on the West Coast. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy along with John Kruk as we get set for Aaron Nola to pitch tonight for the Phils. And this is always a special night when you have your ace because he has become the ace on the mound. And the Phillies are looking forward to him building on what he's accomplished recently.
Yeah, all starters have been pitching really well lately for the Phillies, but Aaron Nola is the one who got this whole thing started. And it's just because he's using his legs and keeping the ball down more. His fastball command has been really good, and we always know that that breaking ball can show up at any time, at any point in the at-bat, any count. He can throw that breaking ball right there to both righties and lefties to get swings and misses. Aaron Nola, easily our best pitcher on this staff, and I look for that to continue against this Angels offense.
7 strikeouts or more in his last 6 outings. This was the outing against the Astros, a very tough Astros team. I think the changeup has been remarkably good, complementing that with that curveball. It's been nice to see, and you talked about the rotation. I mean, look at what they've done in the last 5 games. They're averaging 6 innings per outing. In fact, PHI AT ANA said today they probably could go deeper.
Well, they need to go deeper today because the bullpen's going to be a little short because of a couple guys who have been pitching a lot. But yeah, you get those starters going like this, and the way the offense now swinging the bats, it gives the offense confidence knowing if you score a few, you're going to win.
Yeah, it's been a great run for the offense since the All-Star break. All right, so now they have to contend with South Jersey native Mike Trout. Now, Trout has had an unbelievable start to his major league career. It just continues. He can be called the best player in baseball.
Well, he can be. I'm calling him that. There's no one better. I don't care who you say, who you want to say. There's no one better than this guy, and for a bunch of reasons. Of course, we know the power, the extra base power, the speed, the defense. You know, if there's one little glitch on the radar with Mike Trout, it's some say he doesn't have a strong enough throwing arm. Oh, well, who cares? But he can hit the ball a mile. But you love the enthusiasm with which he plays the game. Love the intensity with which he plays. He doesn't take an at-bat off. Except if he's hurt, he plays almost every day. He is without doubt the best player in this game.
All right, so those were his numbers before the injury, and obviously his numbers have come down just a little bit, but they are still excellent. And of course, the Angels rely on him in so many ways, not only on the field, but also off the field to market this ball club. So it is game one of a 3-game series. It's the Angels and the Phils. Ricky Nolasco making his 22nd start. He'll be opposed by Aaron Nola. When we return, we'll get you set for the lineups at first pitch and the ball game. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. By Toyota. Find your favorite model today. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank, official bank of the Phillies. Visit citizensbank.com. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at ibx.com. series, and it's a beautiful place. Pete Mackanin is smiling because he's celebrating his birthday today. He is 66 years young. And he tried to explain to everybody that he's still pretty close to the age of 60. If you take a timeline of 1 to 1,000 and you mark down 60 and 66, they're still pretty close together. Here's his birthday lineup. Brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Well, DH is in play for tonight's ball game. Hyun-Soo Kim will act as the DH for the Phils in game number 1. Tommy Joseph in the middle of the lineup. His 13 extra base hits in the month of July helped catapult him from an RBI standpoint up over 50. And there is Ricky Nolasco, the veteran right-hander, now 34 years old, 4-12 with an ERA of 5.07.
So what you're trying to say is we should have some. You would assume the way we're swinging the bats, we should have some success.
We should have some success. Cesar Hernandez will lead it off, and he takes a pitch for a strike. We're underway, and the count is no balls and 1 strike. Cesar overall hitting .288 with 6 home runs. He was 7 for 18 in the series against the Braves. And a bouncer back toward the middle. Cesar is able to beat the throw, and he's got an infield hit. Right out of the chute, another infield hit for Cesar Hernandez. Time now for our Nissan keys to the game. Johnny, what do you think?
You know, we've had trouble once we score early. We had trouble tacking on runs. That offense has to keep adding on, and Aaron Nola has to save the bullpen. We know that Hector Neris, Luis Garcia more than likely aren't going to be available. Nola's going to have to go deep and turn it over to a very thin bullpen, if he has to turn it over to him at all, Tom.
Yeah, the Phillies did bring up Drew Anderson from Double-A today, as Galvis takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Galvis had a good series against the Braves also, not only offensively but defensively. And tonight we have 2 of the best defensive shortstops in all of Major League Baseball squaring off. Curveball pulled foul.
Yeah, Larry Bowa said they've already alerted the Phillies players that if they get on second base, he said Simmons is the best he's ever seen at being able to sneak in behind the runner to try to pick him off.
Acquired from the Atlanta Braves. No balls, 2 strikes to Freddie. And it's 1-2. Gotta say, we're a little more off center here as far as the vantage point goes. It's a great vantage point because we're low.
Yeah, that's why we're off center.
1 ball and 2 strikes. 2-2. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Mike McQueen of Mantua. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game. Mike will win $100. Enjoy an ice cold delicious soft drink for only $1. I'm loving it. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Galvis. A high fly ball, shallow center field. Trout has his eyes on it. 1 away.
Have we ever had a home run contestant from Millville?
I think we have had a Millville contestant.
With Trout out there from Millville.
He'll not only hit him, but he'll also rob him.
Can you imagine if it was someone from Millville and he robbed the home run?
He'd never be able to show his face.
Yeah,
well,
I'm
probably
sure.
would. Here's Aaron Altair. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball.
That's what you're going to get a lot from Ricky Nolasco. A lot of breaking balls, a lot of, you know, he's not going to overpower guys. He still has to pitch with his fastball, but he's going to more than likely try to get you out slow.
Like that, and it's 1-1. Fastball 49% of the time. Slider 29% of the time. He throws a split and a curve. 1 ball, 1 strike to Altair. Aaron has helped be part of this resurgent Phillies offense during this 5-game winning streak, and since the All-Star break, as Cesar goes up to second on the wild pitch. I think we've seen more wild pitches and pass balls in the last week than we have all season. All right, Dickey helped that a little bit.
Yeah, that was, you know, Maldonado had no shot at it. It looked like it hit a fastball. It hit home plate and just skipped. Yeah, it started raining. We were right when the Angels were getting ready to start batting practice. Mike Scioscia said, I don't even know if they know how to put the tarp on.
There's a spinner up the first base line. Nolasco kicks it. It spun right on out of his glove. And the Phils have first and third with one man down, an infield single and an E1, the first error of the year for Nolasco. I mean, look at all the spin on this baseball.
Yeah, Aaron Altherr caught that right out of the cup on the end of his bat. I mean, look, I mean, that is about as much as you can hit it off the end of the bat without swinging and missing. But watch this thing just start spinning back, and Nolasco got caught a little too far. I mean, he thought that thing was going to keep going in the same path it was going, but that spin kind of ran it back in on him. Kind of jammed him, let's just say that.
Sure did.
So that's an error, right?
E1. Let's see if Tommy Joseph and the Phils can capitalize with runners on first and third. Tommy takes a strike, 0-1.
So did we ever find out what the deal was with the umpires? They've changed the,
I think
like
it's
5 times.
Yeah, I think it's the beginning of the series. We received several announcements over the last hour and a half about the umpiring rotation. Brian O'Nora has been at first, second, and third. There's a base hit through the hole on the left side, and the Phillies take the lead. It's a 1-0 ball game as Cesar Hernandez crosses the plate.
Oh, wait, Tommy?
Yep, 54 runs batted in now for Tommy Joseph. Well, Mike Scioscia, he knows what the Phillies have done during this 5-game winning streak. They've hit 292 during this 5-game streak.
Like just a little sinker. Nolasco tried to get a ground ball, and he did get the ground ball. The problem was it was hit hard and in the hole. This is one thing. Odubel's been great. I mean, he's been really swinging the bat well. But you got Nolasco reeling right now. He just made an error. He gave up a base hit, an RBI base hit, and then everything slows down because it takes him so long to get in the batter's box. I'm not saying sprint up there and jump in the box, but you know, don't let Nolasco get a little thought. You know, calm himself down, get some thoughts going.
Yeah, if he's on the ropes, knock him right on, right on off him.
Keep him there.
Shallow center field. Simmons, the shortstop, is out. Infield fly rule has been called. Batter's automatically out. 2 away. Gotta say, Ricky Nolasco's in way better shape than he was the last time the Phillies saw him. But I guess he's gotten older. He's trimmed down a little bit.
Didn't help us.
No, we haven't followed that plan, but we're going to.
Yes, that's right. Next year, opening day, 2:30.
That's what you're going to go down to?
Yep.
Mike Franco's the batter. Breaking ball down and away, 1-0. One ball, one strike. Franco's numbers with 2 outs and runners in scoring position even better than his regular numbers with runners in scoring position. He's got it even. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1. Well, Nolasco doesn't have consistency on that breaking pitch right now.
No, and this is where you can't help him. I mean, he threw the 1 to Franco. the only strike he's thrown. But that was kind of a little bit of a hanger. I mean, that's one you would hope that Franco would let that one fly.
Fastball at the knees. That's the pitch that has had the offenses of other teams thriving this year. 19 of the 27 home runs he has surrendered have come on fastballs. Now, a lot of the home runs he's given up, and we said he's given up 27, which is tied for the most in Major League Baseball. A lot of them have been solo shots. Breaking ball way down. And the side is retired. The Phillies do get a run on the base hit by Tommy Joseph. Middle of the first. It's the Phillies 1. The Angels coming up. Is taking the hill with a high level of confidence recently. Aaron has registered 7 straight quality starts since the middle of June. During those 7 starts, he put away opponents with 7+ strikeouts in each outing. The first Phillies pitcher to do so since Curt Schilling in 1998. Nola hit a career high in strikeouts in his outing versus the Astros. In 6 innings, he limited them to just 4 hits, no runs. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Bottom of the first inning, Aaron Nola is getting himself ready to pick up hopefully another victory. 8-6 overall. He really has been good. 107 strikeouts in 99 in the 3rd inning so far. Remember, we mentioned it before. He has at least 7 strikeouts in his last 7 starts. And he's pitched well in interleague games this year, which has not always been the case for him. Escobar hitting .272 with 6 homers and 29 RBIs. Playing third base for the Angels. And he fouls it off to the right. And it's 0-1. 5 home runs in his career against the Phils.
And that's some. You know what you're going to get with, Escobar. He's up there hacking. Not that prototypical leadoff take pitches type of guy.
Started out his career as a shortstop and has made his way over to third base. Fastball at the knees, and it's 1-2. Aaron Nola is going on 5 days rest today, and he is 5-0 with a 1.83 earned run average on 5 days rest. So that little extra boost for the young arm has benefited him. Down the right field line, Altair on the run, and he slides and can't get it. It's a foul ball, and hopefully Aaron's okay. And he is.
Oh, he hit that thing hard with his knees. Well, we're lucky he's okay. Watch how he goes right in that left leg. Looks like they have the padding all the way down, or is there some concrete down there?
Being down at the bottom, maybe there is concrete at the bottom.
Because that's how that young kid for the Yankees got hurt in Chicago.
Oakland.
Was it Oakland or Chicago? I thought
Chicago. You're right. Ground ball to the hole, backhanded by Galvis, and he lost the throw over in time. He is now playing for Oakland. He was involved in the trade for Sonny Gray.
Well, he ain't playing, right?
He ain't playing. In fact, he took a photo today on crutches in front of Reggie Jackson's picture. Well, the lineup for the Angels brought to you by Xfinity. Mike Trout is about to step up to the plate, then Pujols and Valbuena. Simmons bats fifth, Revere sixth, and Martin Maldonado's had a pretty good year offensively. Ramon Flores just called up today, and Cowart, the second baseman, bats ninth. So here is Trout at a fastball off the outside part of the plate.
Did he catch too much of it?
It must have. Down low, 2-0.
Well, everyone knows Mike Trout, dead low ball hitter. Hitting what, 460 on pitches down in the strike zone or something like that. Some crazy number, but that's Aaron Nola's game. So Aaron's got to pitch to his strengths right here.
Six-time All-Star already. The former Rookie of the Year in 12, the MVP in 14 and 16. What a start to a career. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I mean, not bad if you like historic.
What's funny, we were talking to Mark Langston, the former pitcher for the Angels, and he said the organization still looks at it as they could be the luckiest franchise in baseball, that he was available in the first round as late as he was and turned out to be this kind of a player. And it's true. A lot of times it's a crapshoot.
Well, I mean, look who they took ahead of him. Randall Grichuk.
Well, that's a good point. And then they traded him.
I think they made the right decision on
trading Grichuk.
Well, I mean, if you had to trade one of them, they picked the right one.
Here is Albert Pujols. Well, he's had himself a pretty good career in interleague.
Well, let's hope he doesn't get to that 200th RBI.
Or the 60th home run.
Well, we don't need that either.
Pujols with 607 career home runs. Off to the right, out of play.
That's where you got to pitch Albert these days. You got to stay hard in and then soft away once he starts trying to get out in front of it, cheat a little bit to get to it. Those all-time ranks aren't too bad either.
No.
I'd say Cooperstown's waiting for him 5 years after he's done.
Yeah, they may come and bring a car for him as he goes down looking on strikes, and the side is retired in order here in the bottom of the first. Good start for Nola. We'll go to the second. It's the Phillies 1 and the Angels nothing. Well, wait, you can. Catch every CSN game like you're there with the NBC Sports app. Don't worry, we will not tell your boss. What are you waiting for? Download now to keep up with all your Philly teams. Top of the second, fills up 1-0. It'll be Nick Williams to lead it off. Williams, Kim, and Knapp. And a breaking ball, and it's 0-1. .277 with 4 home runs, 19 RBIs. And it's 0-2.
I think the word's gotten out on Nick Williams. He will swing first pitch fastball swinger, and Nolasco starts him out with 2 off-speed pitches. And he's going back to that changeup for pitch number 3.
And he got him 3 straight pitches, and he's down on strikes. That's the second strikeout for Nolasco. Time now for our Toyota Turning Point, and it's the Phillies' 5-game win streak numbers, 292. That average is one of the best in baseball. 6.4 runs per game, 10 home runs, and look at the starters' ERA. I mean, that's incredible.
Unbelievable how good they've been.
Kim pops it foul down the left field line. Since the All-Star break, the Phillies are 6th in the league in hitting. They are 6th in doubles, 2nd in on-base percentage, and now have a 10-6 record since the All-Star break. Curveball pulled foul past Mickey Morandini. It's something that Pete Mackanin is obviously happy with, but Murph, you talked to Stairsy, and he's ecstatic with some of this production.
Yeah, and why not? As you mentioned, 2nd in on-base percentage, 2nd in walks, tied for 2nd in runs in the National League since the All-Star break. And, you know, it really has been a bit of a turnaround for the offense in the last couple of weeks, which is great to see. And I asked Matt to try and put his finger on what was different. And he said, well, first of all, they're seeing a lot of pitches right now. They're playing with a lot of confidence right now, and all of that matters. He said, but one thing that they're doing consistently, especially the guys that have been hot over the last couple of weeks, is they are not missing mistakes. You know, early in the season, we would talk about it all the time. There's a pitch up, and they would foul it off, or they would miss it. Now they're not missing mistakes. We've heard Cam Rupp talk about it. We've heard Tommy Joseph talk about it. Andrew Knapp roping one down into right field as well. These are the pitches that they were missing early in the season. They are not missing it now, and that has made all the difference right now.
Well, that's huge as Kim doubles to right field. And it gives Andrew Knapp an opportunity. I mean, there's so many ebbs and flows to a season, and that's, I mean, it's silly as it sounds, you got to hang with them because you're going to have down times. Now the Phillies had a very long downtime.
Yeah, it was way down, but you know, it's the old saying, you know, you're never as bad as what you think you are, but you're never as good as you think you are either. And you know, look, are the Phillies going to have 5-game winning streak, lose 1, win 5? It's probably not, but I just think it's just a different
approach.
It's a different approach, but it's just like a different vibe around this team now. I think, you know, heading into the trade deadline, I think, you know, guys were wondering, you know, am I going? I've heard I'm going. Am I staying? I think now it's over, and you know, they got, you know, I talked to Freddie Galvis yesterday about it, and he said, you know, we got a great shot of adrenaline with Nick Williams, his attitude and the way he plays, and you know, and then Cesar coming back, of course, you know, put your batting order in the right spot.
Well, all of a sudden they're the youngest team in baseball. It's remarkable with the trades that have taken place. The clubhouse is totally different without the veterans. Off-speed pitch, 1-1. I think it's kind of good, though. It gives other guys a chance to step up and be the leaders.
Yeah, and you know, I think we would be naive to think that, you know, going into the season that the guys that were traded were going to be here all year. That's just not what they were brought here for.
Over to the right side, a ground ball, and it's bobbled by Cowart. And Cesar is safe at first. That's an E4. That's the second error of the game for the LA Angels.
And I just think you're going to see some of these younger guys take a more vocal role. And, Coart right there, just, what do? 2 hands. Just hit him in the heel of his glove. It says here on their thing he's a third baseman, so apparently
making the adjustment. He's a big second baseman.
Yeah, no kidding. Make him pay, Freddie.
Freddie takes one of the dirt. Maldonado was able to block it.
Yeah, but I think when you look around the clubhouse now, and I played on bad teams and trade deadlines, guys go and you look around and say, okay, this is our team now. And since the All-Star break, and it's been really fun to watch.
Outside 2-0. Aaron Nola has a 1-0 lead to work with. See if they can get him some more.
Well, according to our team ERA over the last 5 or 6 games, if he scored another run, we win, right?
Bouncer back toward the middle. And backhanded. And a nice flip. The inning is over. No runs, 1 hit. 2 men left. There was 1 Angels error. Middle of the second. 1-0 Phillies. For every run the Phillies scored during the month of August, the Phillies will make a contribution to the Help Our Kids Radiothon, benefiting Nemours Alfred I. DuPont Hospital for Children. You can find out more at nemours.org/radiothon. Bottom of the second, and the Phils on top 1-0. Luis Valbuena will lead it off for the Angels. There's Nick Pivetta, who pitched so well yesterday. Asked Pete today about Pivetta and whether he could have gone even deeper in yesterday's ball game. He said he could have, and he said that there will come a time where he will. But he felt like it was a comfortable enough lead. He needed to see some things out of some of the other pitchers. Now, it didn't work out, and it got very tense. But he said he's not afraid to let him go deeper, and probably would if he did it again. Long run for Nick Williams into foul territory, and it's 0-1.
Valbuena must have got a good read on that, because he didn't even run out of the box.
Not a lot of foul territory down there. I was surprised it didn't get back into the seats. Again down the left field line. Valbuena last year for the Astros hit .260 with 13 home runs, 40 runs batted in. The year before, he had 25 home runs and 56 runs batted in. The Angels signed him to a free agent contract worth $15 million this past offseason with a third-year option. To the right side, Freddie Galvis charges, has it, flips with the glove in time, one away. 6-3 on the putout. And Aaron Nola, who usually allows the leadoff hitter to hit 189 this season, those numbers are going down.
Yeah, Freddie's saving his pitch count. Decided to use the glove. I wish a pitcher could do that to save his pitch count. Tell you what, he's the more you see him, the more impressed you are with him. Not only because what he could do off defensively, but just, you know, his desire never to have to sit on the bench and watch a game.
And he does not want to sit. Pete wanted to take him out last week from one of the ball games, and he did not want to leave the game even though the Phillies were down. Broken back ground ball to Galvis, and there are 2 outs. And former Phil Ben Revere is coming up.
I mean, Aaron Nola's retired the first 5 hitters. 3 of them had him hit it to Freddie. So
smart man.
Well, you want to be a good pitcher, you have him hit it to the guy who can catch the ball. I've always liked Ben Revere.
As a person, he's one of the nicest people you'll meet. He came on the winter tours with us a couple of years ago, and he was magnetic. I mean, his personality was just fantastic.
Yeah, he'll be doing our job someday, or my job. Yours pretty secure.
We had him in the booth one time when he was on the disabled list. He was in the booth for 3 innings, and he was fantastic.
Let's not let the people back home know that now. You know, Ben and I's families have to eat.
John, I think you and Ben are very, very secure.
I have a lot of insecurities. Don't get me started.
Inside, 2-1. Yeah, we asked Ben to come up one time, and he came up in full uniform. He's been bouncing around a little bit the last couple of years. And a big sit back through the middle for Revere. And that is the first hit of the day. Yeah, that'll bring Martin Maldonado to the plate. Maldonado hitting .239 with 11 home runs and 30 runs batted in. He has 68 hits, which is second among American League catchers. This is his 90th game caught. He throws out a lot of guys trying to steal. He has already set career highs in hits, doubles, home runs. As Revere leads off first.
It just seems like watching Aaron Nola's last 6-7 starts. He could throw a fastball down and away to a righty whenever he feels like it. And that's perfect right there, because it's an easier throw for Andrew Knapp to make if Revere's stealing, but also get you ahead 1-0 or 0-1, and you know, and that's what happens. Ben Revere got a great jump, but because it's 0-1, Maldonado has to protect the plate. He has to, you know, he can't let anything close go. So now you get a foul ball. Revere has to run back, and now you're 0-2. And whoops. Whoop. I'll go now.
Turned out to be a heck of a lead, too.
Yeah.
No balls, 2 strikes to Maldonado.
Apparently got a bad read on Noah.
That one's back just in front of us.
There is a chance one can come up flying in here.
I think there is a chance. You got it?
What?
You got it?
No. Nope. There's.
Have you broadcast from here before?
I don't know. I think I've done a game here, yeah.
We've already figured out that you haven't played here, right?
I don't think so.
Looking at your stats, no, you have not played here. You have acted here, though.
I have. You
got killed here.
I've got killed here, yeah.
Outside, 1-2.
Right, probably halfway down the third base line, probably about 10 feet in.
Did you deserve it?
Oh, I would imagine, yeah. Sure. No, I was trying to protect a teammate. See what that got you?
In the movie The Fan. Another throw over, and Revere dives back.
Yeah, they made a they made this ballpark look like Candlestick.
How'd they do?
I mean, good. I'm sure it wasn't cheap. Oh,
Inside with the changeup, 2-2. So you died, and so did Benicio
del Toro got killed in a steam room.
Wow.
Yeah. At least I went down like a man. Benicio went down. Come on, with a towel wrapped around him.
3-2. Aaron Nola just took a peek in. He doesn't say a whole lot. I think he thought that should have been a strike by Quinn Walcott.
Yeah, one of the last two. And getting back to this umpire, you know, a lot of time, and we didn't do it, of course, but here's the pitch. That didn't quite come back, but
not.
You know, a lot of times, like, you know, a pitcher wants to know, like, okay, what can I get away with if I establish a way? Can I get a pitch an inch or two off the plate?
Runner goes. Pitch is bounced softly to third. Franco is there. And the inning is over. 3 ground outs in the inning for Aaron Nola. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. 2 in the books. Here in Southern California, Aaron Altero lead it off when we come back. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fan section for all the information. And please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, John, the question is, who is the only other Angel besides Mike Trout to hit 25 or more home runs in 5 consecutive seasons? The answer will be revealed a little later on. We go to the top of the 3rd. Phillies lead at 1-0. Mike Trout, who has spent time on the disabled list this year and has hit in 12 of the 14 games since coming back. He just pointed up to the sky, reminding Ramon Flores that this is a tough time of night. As Aaron Altherr takes a breaking ball, and it's 0-1. And 2. Velasco's earned run average coming in tonight is the 15th highest in all of baseball. His 67 earned runs are tied for 13th, and the 133 hits he's allowed among pitchers is 14th. I have to say, every team has gone through injuries. These guys have gone through a ton.
Yes, they have.
But Mike Scioscia says that's baseball. Just got to deal with it.
That's why they have a minor league system.
Altherr is down on strikes. And one away. Well, one of the biggest injuries was Mike Trout's injury in Miami on the 28th of May, sliding into second base. And right there, he knew something was wrong. His thumb injured, required surgery. He actually came back sooner than they expected he would come back.
No shock there. Just hope he doesn't slide head first anymore.
Tommy Joseph takes a breaking ball. So they have Maben on the DL.
Calhoun is day to day.
Right. They're hoping he's back, I think, the 3rd game of the series against the Phils.
He can wait another one.
Outside. One ball and 1 strike.
Garrett Richards. Right.
Yeah. Bicep strain. Andrew Haney, Tommy John surgery. Cameron Maben out 4 weeks. There's Cameron with a sprained knee. They think there's a chance by next week he could go out on a rehab assignment. Mike Scioscia's been without Houston Street with a groin injury. A line drive down the left field line. That's a fair ball going to the corner. And Tommy Joseph on his way to second. And he'll pull in with his 2nd hit of the day. A 1-out double. And Tommy building on the game he had yesterday where he was 3 for 4.
Look where that pitch is. You wonder why Nolasco gives up a lot of hits, a lot of run. Maldonado wanted that pitch down and away. It runs down, up, runs across the center of the plate. And Tommy has been swinging a really good bat lately. It's a very hittable pitch, and he did what you're supposed to do.
All right, so Odubel Herrera popped out first time up and takes a fastball for a strike. 0-1. Oldie but a goodie, John. Somebody just yelled, call it both ways, Blue. Oldie but a goodie.
Was that Murph?
Murph, you did not yell oldie. You did not yell call it both ways, did you?
I did not, although I heard it loud and clear. Guy's sitting right next to me.
Where's he at now?
He's right near the bat boy.
Hi, Murph.
Hi, John. How are you?
Murph's eating some seeds.
Yeah. It's a pretty good vantage point for Murph down there.
It is an excellent vantage point.
I'm about 4 feet from the batting circle.
Outside 1-2. I don't know how they are to watch a game. There's Murph. But those seats next to Murph. Yep. In that well all the way around from dugout to dugout. They look like they're pretty good seats to watch a game.
How can you see right field though? Like how? I
Well,
mean,
you
Murph probably can't even
see
see right field. Can you, Murph?
I can see most of it. I can't see the corners.
Like you didn't see Aaron when he slid for that ball.
No, I could not see that.
Were you concerned?
No, because I just waited for you to tell me he was okay, and he did.
So next time we'll just be quiet and make you guess.
All right, so if you go behind home plate, then you can see everything.
Yeah, these seats down here I think are pretty good, honestly.
He is a man of the people.
Look at that. And then they have the suites right behind here where you can get something to eat.
Oh, yeah? What'd you get?
Well, I haven't made any friends yet, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Didn't stop you from grabbing the French fries from that little kid last year.
We were friends.
1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second. Just a bit outside. 2-2. Take a look at our pitch cast presented by Mazda. Well, yeah, Tim Walcott's on it.
He's been pretty good.
Double did get a breaking ball there, and he fouled it off. And Maldonado out to the mound to talk to Nolasco. Follow Phillies baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat mobile app. Stay connected to the game's best players all season with game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat today. It's the #1 app for live baseball. Odubel 7 for his last 17, finishing up a month of July that was outstanding. And a very nice 2-month run. And a bouncer back toward the middle. Nolasco has it. Tommy Joseph broke immediately and gets over to third. 1-3 on the putout, 2 away. And that'll bring Franco to the plate. Went down swinging his first time up.
Yeah, I guess with 1 out, Ricky Nolasco just wasn't comfortable throwing to third. I mean, he looked at him, he had him by a mile. If he decided to go that way, maybe, hey, maybe that old ugly yips showed up for him and he felt more comfortable underhanded 1 to first.
And running halfway to the bag in order to do it.
Yeah, that's.
1-0 to Michael Franco. Off speed pitch, 1-2.
That changeup's been pretty good from Nolasco. He got Nick Williams with it. That one just I mean, that's That looked like a knee-high, down and away fastball, and ends up more center of the plate, but down in the dirt where you can't do anything with it.
Swing and a miss. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. 4 strikeouts for Nolasco. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left over at third. Phils have left 5, but they have a 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the third. Association's Greater Philadelphia chapter became the team's primary charity. The Phillies have raised nearly $17.7 million for the fight against ALS. All of Major League Baseball proudly supports the ALS Home Health Initiative, which provides in-home care for those affected by Lou Gehrig's disease. Go to MLB.com/for Pete's sake to learn more. And Ramon Flores will lead it off.
Is this his first career at bat?
No, he's been up with
the. He was up last year, wasn't he?
Yep, with the Padres. Been with the Yankees. Hitting .311 down in AAA, and he takes a fastball, and it's 0-1. Over to the right side, Cesar Hernandez throws him out, and 1 away. Phillies baseball is brought to you by your local Ford store. Check out every new Ford car, truck, and SUV crossover at buyfordnow.com today. And by McDonald's. Enjoy an ice cold delicious soft drink for only $1. Ah, loving it. Well, Aaron Nola continues to get ground ball outs. That is 5 ground ball outs so far in the game. That center field camera really gives you an indication of the movement that he has on that fastball.
And he really hasn't commanded his breaking ball that great yet.
I think he's only thrown the 1 changeup, maybe 2. Opposite way, foul. And it's 1-2.
Huh.
Thumb protector went flying.
It kind of went flying, yeah. Never seen that before.
Did you ever use one of those?
Yeah, one time I got jammed real bad and I had to wear one. I didn't like it. It didn't feel like I could grip the bat with my thumb. You know, like
There's a good breaking ball. Second strikeout for Nola. Yeah, there are 2 outs.
Yeah, we talked about the breaking ball, but once you get 2 strikes, that is a great 2-strike pitch. Down, there's nothing you can do with it. If he hits it, it's a little, probably tops it right back to Aaron or rolls it over to Cesar. You can't let this guy ambush you first pitch.
Yeah, they go with a curve, but it's in there. 0-1. Last 19 games, he's hitting a .186. Escobar is. And it's low, 1-1.
You know how you know when a pitcher's going good? When he throws a pitch and it seems like you step out of the box as a hitter and you can see them thinking like, oh boy, like what's next? Like,
over toward the hole, a base hit. 2-out single for Escobar. And that'll bring Mike Trout to the plate. Let's check in with Greg Murphy with our cold hard facts.
All right, Tom, presented by Clean Crisp Coors Light. We're looking at the active career leaders in slugging percentage. And how about that? 1-2. Mike Trout and Albert Pujols, 566 and 565 respectively. Miguel Cabrera, Giancarlo Stanton, and Ryan Braun on that list as well. Trout, 308, 187 home runs, 190 in doubles lifetime, and 306 for Pujols with 607 home runs, as you mentioned, 612 doubles in his career. That's an average of 39 each a season. That's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
And he hasn't reached his peak yet, apparently. Aren't the peak years like 28, 29, 30?
Yeah, he's on his way to that right now. They also gave out socks tonight on his in his honor. Mike Trout socks.
Absolutely. I would imagine that there's going to be a lot of different things they're giving out with Mike Trout till he decides he's done here.
Incredible to watch him, and I know we've talked about this before, but he signs autographs before the ball game. He signs after the game. So we got a Minnesota 2. They say that Torrey Hunter had a huge impact on him when he first came up. You know, when it came to embracing the fan base here in Anaheim. And he said Mike has taken that and basically has run with it. They tried another breaking ball, and it's 1-2. There's no doubt Philly wants Trout. He knows it too. But he is he's had a lot of success away from home.
You remember when he first came up, though, Peter Borges was a center fielder, and I talked to Mike Scioscia about it a ton, and he said, you know, the metrics play out that Borges has, you know, more range, and I'm like,
how'd you feel about that?
Let's put it this way. I respected the fact that he knows his personnel better, but I don't know if I bought it.
Well, he's adjusted well.
Well, he's figured out center field pretty good. Yeah.
And Peter Borges is a very fast outfielder.
But this guy's pretty rapid too.
Yeah, he is. Line drive, one hopper, base hit it to left. So runners on first and second with 2 men down, and Pujols is coming up. Trout has now hit in 13 of the 15 games since his return.
Well, you're lucky against a guy like that. You miss your spot that badly. You're lucky it's not a souvenir.
Pujols struck out looking his last time up.
And this is what's scary with Albert. I mean, he's hitting 230. 232, but he's got 60-something RBIs. That's something that he's had since his rookie year, that knack for driving in runs.
Pujols is 2 home runs away from Sammy Sosa on the all-time list. 5 from Jim Thome. Oh, and 2.
This might be where Tommy has to be careful over there at first. Well, second base he's playing. If Aaron throws that breaking ball away, Albert has that ability to hit that ball the other way.
Curveball hit foul down the third base line. Awfully close.
Well, that's a sign of a pitcher going good. You hang one like that to the guy that's one of the more prolific home run hitters in the history of baseball, and you hit it foul.
That is really close.
Really foul, but really close, but really foul. They say you get one pitch to hit in that bat, and that was it. So hopefully Aaron doesn't give him another one.
The ball's and 2 strikes again. Runners lead off. Curveball line to left field. That'll be in for a hit. Rounding third, heading for home is Escobar. The throw to the plate is in time. Nick Williams used the grass to his advantage as it skipped on to the glove of Andrew Knapp. And the Phillies maintain a 1-0 lead. They're asking the Phillies to hold the defense for a moment. Well, this is a heck of a job by Nick Williams.
Yeah, great throw.
Got it off the grass. Knapp was able to apply the tag, and we'll go to the 4th. Chief is with his back to us. It was a late review, but they are taking a look at the play at the plate to see if Escobar's foot did get in ahead of the tag of Knapp. It's pretty close.
Really close. Is it close enough to overturn?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you might get a better shot right here.
It's tough to tell. It looks like the glove is on him at that point before the foot hit the plate, but it's hard to see, and Walcott was right on top of it. He wasn't blocking the plate. They'll always look at that. In fact, he moved his foot away. But they are taking a long look at this play at the plate. All right, here is the call from Brian O'Nora. He is out. I think it's going to go down as a stands. Mike Scioscia said he can't believe it. He's had some opinions about the replay system over the course of this season. So we'll step aside one more time. The Phillies lead at 1-0. We'll be back in the fourth. Donuts K-Cup pods. That's right. Get your Dunkin' Donuts K-Cup pods from WB Mason at great prices. Who but WB Mason? Phillies up 1-0. As we go to the top of the fourth, the outfield assist for Nick Williams wrapped up that inning. That is the second outfield assist of the season for Nick up here in the big leagues. He had 5 down in the minors. And nothing but soft stuff for him. And again, has he seen a fastball, John?
No, 5 pitches, 5 off speed. I think a couple, 1 curveball, I think, and 4 changeups.
I think you're right.
And this is something, you know, that as he starts getting around the league and the word starts getting out, you know, he's aggressive and he will swing at the first pitch.
Oh, he lays off that one. And it's 1-2.
Yeah, the hardest thing in the world to tell a young hitter is go up there at first pitch, look for off speed. And you know, he'll figure it out. You would think it's just pitch recognition, understanding, you know, how they're going to work you.
And a liner out to center field, and that'll drop in front of Trout.
And that was a fastball, 89.
Yeah, so he got the count back to the point where he could get a fastball. Some pitchers probably would have just kept throwing the changeup.
Yeah, and you would think, you know, a veteran like Nolasco, that we appreciate it.
Well, here is Hyun Soo Kim, who's doubled his first time up.
I mean, you talk about a guy who's, you know, 2 at bats, who's gotten 1 fastball, and he lays out a rope.
Just saw Charles Nagy, the pitching coach for the Angels, as Kim takes a strike. It's 0-1. Well, he does take a lot of pitches, doesn't he? In his 2 games so far, he walked 3 times. Seems like he takes the first pitch all the time.
Some fancy batting gloves he has.
Just trying to promote the commerce of South Korea. Nick Williams spun his wheels a little bit over at first. As Valbuena applies the tag, and Nick, he went in kind of awkward.
Yeah, he caught him lean. It looked like he wanted to go. He had first step, but then that left foot slips on the push off, trying to get back to first base. Just hope Nick's all right. Mickey got his work cut out for him, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Oh, and 2. Mickey Morandini whispered in the ear of Williams. Phillies with 42 stolen bases on the year. Angels are one of the best teams in the league in swiping bags. They're second to the Brewers. Fly ball, right center field. Check in during your visit to Citizens Bank Park, or you can check in during your visit here in Anaheim with the MLB.com Ballpark app. It's the official Citizens Bank Park app for your iPhone and Android smartphone. Perfectly complements and personalizes your trip with ballpark maps, mobile check-in, and more. Download MLB.com Ballpark today or visit Phillies.com/ballpark app to learn more. Andrew Knapp fly to left his first time. Boy, he does have a good changeup tonight. And say what you want about his overall numbers this year. He's given up the 1 run, but his changeup has been excellent.
Yeah, and you know, you mentioned it. We're the youngest team in baseball right now, and they're aggressive. You know, Matt Stairs wants him to hunt the fastball. If it's first pitch fastball, let it fly.
Stairsy.
Got his bag of seeds right there. Is that what Murph's borrowing?
I think Murph's grabbing some from Stairsy.
Oh. We have to break those two up.
You see Stairsy's beard? He says he's not going to shave that until the offense cools off, if and when the offense cools off.
Gosh, I didn't even notice it. ballpark out in center. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Find your favorite model today. Toyota, let's go places. Hello, John Kruk and Greg Murphy. I'm Tom McCarthy here in Southern California. The first of three. And the first of an 8-game road trip for the Phillies. We'll go to Colorado after this series is over, and then to Atlanta. There's Andrelton Simmons. He grounded out his first time. Simmons with 118 hits coming into this ball game, which was tops among shortstops. Curveball, it hits him twice. That remains 0-2. So there you go. Among American League shortstops, first in hits, second in doubles. In fact, as we mentioned, the hits are tops in all of baseball. Third in on-base percentage in the AL, third in average.
Yeah, that was always the thing with him when you know, to put him with those elite shortstops in baseball was, yeah, he struggled offensively. And good to see him figure it out.
Over to third base, fair ball. Franco zips it across the diamond for the second out. Yeah, with the Braves, in his 4 seasons, he hit 256 combined. With the Angels, in his 2 years, he's at 291.
I just always thought when I watch him with the Braves, he swung too hard. Had a
I would agree with that. Yeah.
You know, I always thought that, you know, if you hit 15, 20 home runs, you know, what did you do your other 500 and whatever at bats, or 400 and whatever at bats?
And Revere has a base hit tonight. Ben spent parts of 3 years with the Phils. His best year being 2014 when he had 184 hits. He's not going to strike out a lot. He's not going to walk a lot. He has 6 walks this year in 69 games.
That's not a lot.
It's not a lot.
I would imagine he's probably never thought he'd ever hit 6th in a lineup either.
Over to the right side. Cesar can't get to it. And Revere has 2 hits. 2 for 2. And Maldonado's coming up. Well, the Phillies and the Angels don't face each other that often. However, it's been busy the last several years. The Angels are 9-0 against the Phils. Boy, they've pitched really well with their starters, and it's not a surprise that Mike Scioscia's team 41-17 outscoring the Phillies.
Wow, 1 home run in 9 games.
They're pacing themselves.
I ain't gonna lie, I'd like to see him get a few more runs, that is. Two outs, you'd have to think that at some point Revere's going to run.
And again, with a guy who can run on first base, he throws a first pitch strike. I think this is when Revere tried to run the last time on an 0-1 pitch.
Yeah, the breaking ball.
Yeah, I wonder if you wish there was a way you could give a sign for a breaking ball. I'm sure they can, and then have it throw a pitch out.
There he goes. Fastball. Knapp's throw to second base is not in time. Ben got his hand in as he shakes it out. Pretty good throw by Andrew Knapp.
Yeah,
I think that Cesar may have dropped the ball.
Yeah, he looked like he was angry. Good throw by Andrew Knapp, though, right on the money. And
oh, yeah, he did drop it.
Dropped it. And I think Revere got his hands stuck on Cesar's glove, it looked like.
Well, now you go up to the hitter. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Popped up. First base side. Tommy Joseph toward the dugout, and it's out of play. Oh, nice one-handed grab. Try to change up low. Angels got Maldonado from the Milwaukee Brewers for Jet Bandy, another catcher.
A catcher named Jet?
Jet Bandy. Not going to fit?
Well, I mean, most of them aren't known for that, but
he was originally signed and drafted, Maldonado, by the Angels and then released in 2007. But 9 years later, they felt better about it. Wow, 9 years.
It's amazing how things change, huh?
He's 30 years old.
Like, what did they see in him as a 30-year-old that they didn't see it as a 21-year-old?
I have no idea. Hit 202 last year, 210 the year before with the Milwaukee Brewers. Curveball, checked his swing. And Brian O'Nora says no swing. Ramon Flores on deck.
See on the board up there where Maldonado's been hit by 14 pitches, sets a record for catchers, Angels record.
That's an awful lot of hit by pitch. 6 last year. Pretty good uptick. 3-2 pitch popped up. Foul territory. Tommy Joseph is there. And Nola has 4 scoreless innings in tonight's ball game. Revere is left at second base. Will leave for the top of the 5th. It's the Phillies 1 and the Angels nothing. Game series. The 25th is Goya Latino Family Celebration Night. On Sunday the 27th, it's the ShopRite Back to School Alarm Clock, free to kids 14 and under. Go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets. As Cesar Hernandez will lead it off here in the top half of the 5th inning. Phillies lead at 1-0. They scored the run in the first. It was Cesar. And he shows bunt, takes low. One ball, one strike. Pete was saying today that he's happy that Cesar has been bunting more the last couple of games. He said he actually would like to see Freddie Galvis bunt a little bit more from the 2 spot. So he thinks it will add to his game because he feels like he is such a good bunter. He can do what Cesar has been doing. I think Cesar is just a little quicker than Freddie, and that's why it's such a good part of his arsenal. Out to right field. Flores got a late start, but he closes.
Shortstop, number 13, Freddie Galvis.
So Freddie is up. He's 0 for 2 today. There you go.
There, see, they must have the game on in the dugout or something.
The idea would have been a bad one if he tried to bring it with him toward the right side.
Just by watching Cowart, I think I would give it a shot.
Is he so awkward?
He looks rough out there
Yeah.
at second. I mean, looks uncomfortable. He doesn't look like a second baseman, and I mean, according to the things I've read, he's a third baseman by trade who's playing second out of necessity.
Two and two. Pete said the reason he brought it up, he's trying to get Freddie to get the ball out front a little bit more. And he does it a lot of the time, but he doesn't do it all the time. And he said that's why you see those fly balls to left field that you've been talking about. You know, where he gets a little fly ball happy. On a pitch like that. Now that one was probably a little too high, but one that's down a little bit more.
Yeah, it seems like he commits to pull, and it's just a, you know, I got to put this ball in play, and it's a fly ball.
Fouls another one off. It remains 3-2. And ball 4. Velasco issues the walk. The Phils have a 1-out base runner. And here's Aaron Altair. You're a diehard Philly fan, and you deserve podcasts that are always talking to your teams. Well, you're in luck. Check out CSN Podcasts and take your fandom to the next level. Subscribe and download on Apple, Google Play, or csnphilly.com. You going to spend some time doing a podcast or two on this trip?
I am. I must. I have to. Yes.
You could do one on the movie The Fan.
Yeah.
No?
I don't know if I have 20 good minutes in me about that.
What about Trout? Maybe do one on a little bit on Trout?
Probably could. The players I enjoy watching the most?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Can help promote Freddie Galvis's Gold Glove campaign.
I can do that.
Over to shortstop. Simmons Speaking of gold gloves, that's pretty smooth right there. 6-4-3 double play. No runs, no hits, and nobody left. Middle of the 5th. Flores will lead it off with the Phillies up 1-0. .com. Bailey Falter is the Phillies pitcher of the week. 7 innings, 9 strikeouts for the Blue Claws. Jalen Ortiz is the player of the week. 389 with 3 home runs and 7 RBIs for the Crosscutters. Congratulations to both of those guys. As we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Ortiz, by the way, he's only 18 years old, out of the Dominican Republic, hitting .305 this year for the Crosscutters. Big kid, 6'3", 215. He's 18, so he's not filled out yet. As Flores takes outside, 6'3", 215 as an 18-year-old. Good size.
Can he play?
Apparently he can.
That's all that matters. Can he run?
Stolen base wise, he only has 3. I don't know that, actually. That's a good question. Right fielder. He's got 2 outfield assists so far. 2 balls and 1 strike. To the right side, Tommy Joseph will charge. Fair ball, 1 out. 3 unassisted. Every time the Phillies pitchers retire, the opposition 1-2-3, which Aaron Nola did in the first. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. All right, here's Coward. He struck out his first time up.
25 homers, 5 consecutive seasons, right?
25 home runs, 5, not Mike Trout.
Yeah, it's consecutive seasons, though, right?
I believe that's what it said, yes. You looking up at the retired numbers to see if somebody's up there?
I wouldn't know where they are to look, but
out at right center field. Your answer is not up there, though.
No, I wouldn't think.
1-1.
Knew it wouldn't be Rod Carew, Nolan Ryan.
No one did not hit that many home runs.
Jackie Robinson didn't play for the Angels,
no.
I don't think.
Jim Fregosi, beloved out here with the Angels.
Who's 50?
Longtime coach.
Okay. Oh yeah, Jimmy Reese.
Jimmy Reese. Yep.
I love Jimmy. Jimmy could throw BP with a
That's right.
fungo. He was incredible.
Another one over to first, foul.
When we used to go play them in spring training in Palm Springs, they would sit on lawn chairs. Like, I ain't kidding you, probably within 15 feet of first base. So like I would have a running conversation with Jimmy and you know, some others, and well, I called him Mr. Reese, but he roomed with Babe Ruth.
Died at 92 years old in 1994. Fly ball to left field. Williams comes in and over toward the line. He roomed with Ruth in 1930 and 1931. That's pretty amazing. Well, speaking of the Jeep Stuff the Fans trivia question, time now for the answer. So, who is the only other Angel besides Mike Trout to hit 25 or more home runs in 5 straight seasons?
I want to say Albert, but I think he got hurt and didn't get it one year.
Albert is not the correct answer, just so you know.
No, it ain't Reggie, right?
Not Reggie. It's a guy that some people think has to be considered for the Hall of Fame. Not only because of his offensive numbers, but because of his defense. Finished with 449 career home runs. Was the MVP for the Angels at 04. And is a 9-time All-Star.
Oh my gosh.
And
Escobar's hurt. He had one off his foot. A 9-time All-Star.
yeah. Here's the replay.
Oh, right on
off
the
the top.
toe. He's liable to peel that shoe off after the game and the sock off, and that toenail liable to come with it. That's not fun when that happens.
Think he's leaving? Nope. Well, our answer would probably hit that ball off his foot and then hit it again when it popped back up.
Yeah, and I know now who it is. Vladimir
Guerrero, that is it. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack.
He could hit him.
He could hit him.
Man.
I guess the son is starting to hit him like him.
Yeah, I guess his son's really good.
307 this year. 7 home runs, 54 runs batted in. 1-2 to Escobar. Little floater out to shallow center field. And it drops in front of Odubel. Second hit for Escobar. Odubel was playing really deep.
Well, the one thing if you're at Noah you understand is that you know Escobar's not going to run. Your whole entire focus right here has to be on this man.
Inside, 1-0. Well, obviously Mike Trout and Bryce Harper are two of the big stars in Major League Baseball, young stars, and Harper talking about Trout as part of our Geico quote of the day. He does it the right way every single day. He's one of the best in the game at being himself and never changing. Goes back to that sliding head first thing where, you know, everybody wants him to slide feet first, and he said, I just can't do it. Here's that last swing.
Ooh, right above that shin guard thing. The thing about Trout, and this is why I think he's the best player in the game, is exactly what Bryce Harper said. But when you look at him from the time he was a rookie to this day today, he hasn't really had a bad year. I mean,
has not.
Not a bad year. I mean, he's not had like an average year.
No, you're right.
Like every year he's had has been an above average year. Like Bryce has had unbelievably historic years, and then other years where, you know, he was, you know, a really good player, but not a great player.
Inside, ball 4, and that'll put runners on first and second. With 2 outs, Albert Pujols is coming up. And here we go. We're back to where we were in the 3rd inning for Aaron Nola.
Get ready, Nick.
Nola has thrown 86 pitches with 2 outs here in the 5th.
That's what we're talking about with. I asked Pete today, I said, who's the closer today? He said, I hope Nola.
Yeah, he talked about guys like Hobie Milner. Talked about Leiter maybe closing. Talked about the hard-throwing Drew Anderson, who was just brought up today, that he could close.
Well, you know, you got a job to do. You got to get the last out of the game if you want to win, right? Someone's got to do it.
Curveball 0-1. Had Albert buckling a little bit on that. Active players. Not too many guys are going to surpass Pujols. The only guy there's 2 guys ahead of him as far as hits go. Of course, Adrian Beltre just reached 3,000 hits. Fastball, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Pujols fans out in center field watching this one. So look at the secondary, or look at the lead Mike Trout has with Tommy playing basically shallow second base.
And a liner down the right field line. That'll be in for a base hit. Altair better get to it quickly. 1 run is in. Trout's already around third. He's going to come home. And the Angels have taken the lead. It's a 2-1 ball game. Two RBI double for Albert Pujols. That's kind of what you talked about last time, John, that he can pop it the other way.
You don't have the career numbers and the amount of hits he has without having that ability to go the other way. Now, Aaron started him off with a breaking ball for strike 1. And look how deep he lets that ball get. He's protected against the breaking ball. Don't roll over. And if he throws a fastball, I still have my hands to hit that ball the other way. And because of the shift and because where Tommy was playing, Mike Trout was halfway to second base before he had to take a secondary lead. So he was, I mean, you know, Aaron got to that ball quickly. Aaron got it in quickly, but it was, you know, Trout's high-fiving in the dugout by the time they got it back in. Look where Trout is right here. Look at where he is. Look where first base is, and that's Tommy Joseph right there. Now, you wonder why he could score on this ball that's hit down the right field line.
Now he gets his walking lead, and now he's off. As soon as contact's made with 2 outs, he's off. I mean, that ball didn't even get to the fence.
No.
Didn't even get to the warning track. But because of where he was playing, you had the shift, the alignment on it, and where Tommy was playing, that's
why he's got all those RBIs.
yes, indeed.
The outside corner 0-1 of Valbuena, who is 0 for 2.
This is where you got to keep it here. Keep it 2. It's a big out right here for Aaron.
Ground ball back toward the middle. Freddie Galvis is there. But the Angels do take the lead. A 2-out, 2-run double by Albert Pujols. He is left at second. We have played 5. The Angels are now on top. It's 2-1 as we go to the 6th. Day tour will take place on Friday, September 8th, or it'll slide into Citizens Bank Park on Friday, September 8th. Special guests include Brett Eldridge and Craig Campbell. Tickets can be purchased by visiting Phillies.com/Luke Bryan. He's a good friend of our buddy Jeff Rancourt, and Jeff has seen him an awful lot and says he puts on a great show. Well, the Angels are on top 2-1. So now as we go to the top of the 6th inning, the other part of the storyline is that guy right there. That's Ricky Nolasco. The Phillies have had base runners against Nolasco, but he has kept them off balance by pitching backwards. And we'll face Tommy Joseph, who's 2 for 2. Odubel Herrera and Maikel Franco. One ball and 1 strike. Two and 1.
Let's get some here.
Doesn't matter. It was a check swing. It was called a strike to even it up at 2-2. Four strikeouts tonight for Nolasco.
Hey, he keeps throwing Tommy off speed, and then when he tries to throw that fastball, Tommy is all over it. So what would you think he would throw here?
I think he's going to go throw a breaking ball.
You're learning.
Yeah.
Now if we can just get Murph to follow suit.
The he does, and it's 3-2.
Tell you what, watching Murph's golf swing today. I don't know how Bull cut him from the baseball team.
Because he could have popped it the opposite way with power.
Yep.
Inside.
Oh wait, Tommy,
ball
good start.
4. And he's been on base 3 times today. Maybe if Bull has a celebration for his high school championship team, maybe he just brings Murph back and just make it seem like he was on the team.
Yeah, he can MC it.
Yeah. But make it seem like he was on the team.
What's a Holy Cross nickname? What
Lancer.
Yeah, he can be a Lancer,
He'd
whatever that is.
It's a knight.
I thought that was that thing you stuck in your finger when you're taking blood or something.
Here's Odubel, who is 0 for 2. He's popped out and grounded out. He bunts toward third. Charging is Escobar, and he won't get him. That's not a bad idea, thinking about Escobar's sore foot, but also he was back a little bit. And Odubel's been trying to do that the last week or so, but the bat head has been pointed toward foul territory most of the time.
Oh, he had a couple good bunts against Atlanta for hits. Or one, he had 2 for a hit. One, oh, the one he tried to bunt 2-0.
Right.
Or with 2 outs. It's probably not smart, but that's an unbelievable bunt. And Escobar did everything he can, but you know, now you have the potential of a big inning.
Yeah, with Maikel Franco, who is 0 for 2 tonight.
With 2 strikeouts and hasn't looked great on either one.
Charles Nagy is coming out to talk to the right-hander. Nobody is warming up yet for the Angels, although somebody just popped up. They don't know who their closer is going to be. You're talking about the Phillies.
They tried.
Bud Norris.
Yeah, my old teammate Steve Bedrosian's son Cam.
Middleton is starting to throw. Kenyon Middleton.
Nick Williams just an on deck circle, just high-fived someone down there.
In the dirt, 1-0.
Yeah, I think if you're Franco right now, you have to think other way. Just if he throws you a fastball in, then you know what? Okay, I give you 1. But they're going to try to get him out away. They need to take a page out of Albert Pujols' book right here.
That's right. 2-0.
Now here's where he can't get happy either. Like, okay, 2-0, I got a free swing going. He throws me a fastball. Because if it's away, he can roll over. You still got to think the other way.
That is a mile foul ball. 2-2. Phillies are 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position.
See, that's the one right there. A pitch away, and he's trying to pull it. You know, he hits that ball fair. It's, I mean, you would hope it's just a double play. If he hits it hard to Escobar.
You're right.
You know what we're talking about, right?
A triple play.
Yeah, we don't want that. Normally those triple plays ruin an inning.
in a pretty fast way.
Yeah.
Fly ball left center field. Trout is under it. The runners go back. One out here in the sixth. Then Nick Williams is coming up.
Left fielder, number 5, Nick Williams.
Well, that was a pitch that he missed. Michael, that is. Toward the middle of the plate. And Michael is 0 for 3 in the game. Off his foot, and it's 0-1. Over to left field, not deep. Revere comes in. Phillies are now 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position. 2 outs, and Kim is coming to the plate.
Well, how about making it 2 for 12?
Yeah, they are letting him off the hook here. As you mentioned in the first inning, they had him on the ropes.
Yeah. Yeah, that just. They haven't had good at bats. And again, a lot of it's over anxious, a lot of it's, you know, having your aggressiveness used against you. Boy, look at this shift. I mean, this is, how big is that hole? Look where Simmons is. Simmons is over here. Coward's over there. I mean, that is a huge hole.
Sure is.
Especially for a guy that throws a lot of off-speed pitches. Like normally you would see Simmons on the other side of second base in a shift like this.
Well, back-to-back pitches where Kim way out in front of Ricky Nolasco. And it's 1-2. I would think you have to throw it again if you're Nolasco.
That's a good one, though. I mean, that has a lot of bite to it.
And he does, and this time it's fouled away. Kim's double, his first time up was down the right field line in the second. Two and two.
And see that there, he tried to overthrow a fastball, but I would bet that this is going to be a changeup.
Like bouncing in front of the plate. And it is. Kim is down on strikes. Nolasco 1 run in 6 innings tonight. Tommy Joseph is left at second base. Herrera is left at first. We'll move to the bottom of the 6th inning. Angels 2 and the Phillies 1. By your local Chevrolet dealers. By Jefferson Health. Call 800-JEFF-NOW or visit jeffersonhealth.org. And by Nissan. ShopChooseNissan.com. Well, 2-1, Angels on top. Beautiful Angels Stadium here in Anaheim. Phillies arrived last night after sweeping out the Braves. Their first 4-game home sweep of the Braves since 1949. Trying to make it 6 in a row. That would match their season-long winning streak.
And it would snap the 0 for 9 against the Angels.
Yeah, this whole interleague thing has not been worthwhile for the Phils this year.
It's been about as bad as that last swing by Andrelton Simmons. Did you see that thing?
Yeah. It's like he wanted to hold up, and then hit it, and then tried to hold up again.
Yeah, that was weird.
There we go.
Freddie
Galvis. Yep. Galvis had just moved over toward the hole, and Simmons hit it almost to where Galvis was.
How do you do that?
I don't know.
Like, what would you look at that first swing to think, well, he's probably going to get a hit here?
I thought that with Kim. I was hoping that Kim, who had those 2 awkward swings, would have that same sort of result.
Yeah, Freddie, you saw Freddie took a couple little short steps. Not that he would have probably gotten to that anyway, but yeah. Now look at this. Now this is back-to-back pitches right here, but that swing. Now all of a sudden you get that swing. Isn't this a beautiful game?
Sure is. So imperfect at times.
I mean, it stinks for the Phillies, but you got the leadoff hitter on. Now you got a guy that has 2 hits already.
Yeah, Ben Revere singled up the middle. Got a single through the right side. Fly ball left center field, not deep. Odubel's coming in. Says he has it. And 1 away.
Hey, that's one thing about Odubel. He goes and gets them. And he's not afraid to call the other guys off.
Now left to right, you know, he's covering as much ground as any center fielder in baseball. And I think, you know, they talked about the communication between the outfielders with Nick Williams, and that's gone fine. There haven't been any issues. Here is Maldonado, who is 0 for 2.
Like to see a double play right here. Get out of this inning with less than 100 pitches. Hopefully give you one more.
I think that they would, wouldn't they?
I would. Yeah, I would think. Someone who's down there warming up. Is that Leiter?
It's Leiter, yep.
He's a good young man.
Mark Leiter Jr.?
Yes.
He really is.
He really is a.
He sent it back down where he was back to the rotation for Lehigh Valley. Out of play, and it's 0-2. Imagine what those 2 careers, if you put them next to each other at the end, were going to look like.
They probably will end up side by side in Cooperstown.
Outside 1-2.
I think the biggest decision that Albert's going to have to make is, does he go in as a Cardinal or as an Angel? I mean, he probably is going to end up playing more years as an Angel, right?
So he's 38 and he still has several years left on this contract. It's amazing. I don't know if he would just become an ambassador at some point or if he'd want to keep playing. Another throw over.
But you know, you look at who he's sitting next to on the bench. If you're Mike Trout, who would on that bench, who would you go to talk about hitting?
He'd
No
be the
offense
guy.
to anyone else on that team that hits.
I don't think you could take offense with it. That's the guy.
That's what someone asked me once in San Diego. How come you always hang out with Tony?
Well, the man was your roommate.
Yeah, but I said, well, because who else would I talk to about hit?
Yeah, Ben says the same thing. I mean, you know, you finished with a 300 lifetime batting average, but that is the guy you want to sort of follow, just the concepts more than anything. One and two to Maldonado. With Simmons at first base and one out. I don't think Andrew Knapp was too pleased about the time being called. Quinn Walcott, he just went, he just escaped dodge right there.
He was getting out of there. This ain't hitting me.
Wow.
Take a look. Mazda sponsors our pitch casts.
Tell you what, he has been good. I mean, he's
Everything we've shown has been off the plate.
yeah.
They're going to go fastball away. Well, this at bat is probably diminishing his opportunity to even get through 7 innings. And now the goal is to get through 6. Aaron's been so good for the Phillies. 3 starts since the All-Star break. 2-0 with an ERA of 1.4. Simmons goes. Pitch is popped way up there.
It's above us, isn't it?
It sure is. And Simmons heads back to first. This will be the 8th pitch of this at bat. Got him. He wins the battle. It cost him 8 pitches. And now they're 2 outs. Phillies fantasy camp will be this January, the 17th to the 21st. 5 days, 4 nights, 3 different experiences to choose from. You could be a fan, you could be a player, or you could be a general manager. It's located at the beautiful Carpenter Complex in Clearwater, Florida. For more information, call 610-520-3400 or go to PhilliesFantasyCamp.com. Live the dream. All right, so Flores takes inside. Oh for 2. Phillies in their half of the 7th inning will have 9-1-2 coming up.
Would a quick out here change Pete's mind, maybe?
I think if he pushes anybody, it would be Noah. I wouldn't think it's a bad thing to even let him start the 7th inning if he gets a quick out. You know, and just monitor it from there.
Let's get the quick out first. That's the thing too with the, you know, pitch counts the way they are in the American League game, because there's no easy out. There's no, not that pitchers are easy outs, most of them are, but you know, it's, you have 9 big league hitters that you have to try to get out.
So when a guy goes from the National League to the American League, his numbers go down, his ERA goes down. It's surprising. Knapp wants a curveball.
Like Pedro Martinez, when he went to the Red Sox, you'd think, okay, he's, you know, how's he going to do it? He was better. He had an ERA one year of under 2, right? I think Pedro did.
Yes, he did.
In American League East.
1.74.
In
2000.
In the American League East. Right?
That was the final one of his 3 Cy Young awards that he won. One ball and 2 strikes to Flores. Simmons goes. Pitch is pulled to the right of the mound, and Nola will flip to underhand, and that'll do it for the Angels. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. 2 runs over 6 innings. We'll move to the 7th. Phils need some offense. Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda Dealers game summary. So the Phils got their run in the 1st inning, but after that, the offense, even though they've had base runners, has gone quiet. Ricky Nolasco, 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Aaron Nola has struck out 3 over 6 innings and has allowed 8 hits and 2 earned runs. And now the Angels will go to their bullpen Middleton is appearing in his 37th game. 4.50 ERA. This is an Angels bullpen that is 13th in baseball in earned run average. But they've had a little trouble closing out ball games. Mike Scioscia knows that these innings by Key Middleton are extremely important. Just a 23-year-old right-hander. Facing Andrew Knapp as we begin the top of the 7th. That's 95 right there.
It's a short arm 95 too. Yep. Boy, that's a. Those guys are tough to pick up. That short arm 95 looks like 100 probably.
Outside again.
Huh. Another reliever coming in throwing 95, 97.
He is smoking.
With movement.
Six.
That's where Escobar. Now he's moving back now because there's 2 strikes. He was up 2 steps in the grass. Is Andrew Knapp known as a great bunter?
Absolutely not.
I mean, for a hit.
Ben Revere. Oh, he started in. It's over his head. And Knapp is going to get to second base on that one. A misplay by Ben Revere, and the Phils have a runner in scoring position to begin the 7th inning.
I think, like myself, I didn't think that ball was going to carry. That ball took off on him. And he froze. He actually took a couple steps in. I guess, when you're throwing 97, I mean, look at it. He took a couple steps in, thought it was going to be right to him. He's like, now I got to go back up there.
Signaling to Mike Trout that he didn't see it right away. All right, so meeting on the mound, some stirring going on the dugout for the Angels. And here is Cesar Hernandez.
Well, you got to think that he's going to try to bunt for a hit, try to get Knapp to third.
And he does bunt it foul. 95, and that ball went back to the net pretty quickly. There's Sammy laying down the signs.
Tell you, this might be. I would assume that he could take a ball with him, right, from the left side.
But I will say his strength is to bunt it toward third.
Yeah, Coward's breaking quick. When you're not a normal second baseman, you don't know the timing of it, when to leave. He was going quick. If you can get it between.
Ground ball to shortstop. Simmons hesitated for a moment, and out at first base is Hernandez, according to Brian O'Nora.
Well, Valbuena's looking at Cesar like, what are you doing? But Valbuena's whole foot was on the base. I didn't think thought Simmons was going to be able to make the throw.
That was a rocket of a throw from Simmons.
He's got that in his arsenal, yes, but I mean, you see Valbuena now, he's still down there. Like, look where his foot is. His foot's in the center of the base. Kind of got the feeling it should get stepped on.
Well, they will take a look at this one. Well, that was awfully close, John.
It really was.
I don't know if there's enough to overturn it. All right, so they will take a peek at it. Ryan O'Nora is the crew chief. He's the first base umpire to the left. Scott Barry is the third base umpire. It's not in the glove, and the foot is on the bag, so they should overturn this based on that replay right there.
That should be a quick overturn. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Valbuena thought that Simmons was going to be able to make the throw.
I would agree with that. So his footwork was kind of all over.
I mean, he was in the center of the base. I mean, you know, you talk about a bang bang play, and your foot's in the center of the base. That's a couple inches that you're missing from being able to stretch. You know, you're coming up 2-3 inches short.
All right, here we go. The decision could be a big one. He is safe at first, so runners on first and second. Phillies maintain their review. It'll go to a crew chief review in the 8th inning.
That'll make Soch happy, won't it?
Yeah, he does not like replay.
I was talking to him a few years ago, and he said, you know, they say it's like 50-50. He said, I don't think we've won one yet.
So it's a base hit for Cesar Hernandez, his second of the night. Freddie Galvis up with runners on first and second. If he's bunting, it's got to go to third. And he's not bunting. Surprised he's not bunting?
Yes. Yes. I don't know. Maybe they don't like the matchup with Altair, and maybe that would be the only reason, but.
Phillies are 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Actually 2 for 12. A foul ball, and Galvis stays alive because that is a hit for Cesar with a runner in scoring position. Mike Soch in his 18th year as the skipper of the Angels. He's survived a lot.
Yes, he has. Won a world championship
back in 2002. Went to Springfield High School. (1,541 wins). Funny, we were talking today. Ben was down there, and Ben said, fellow Delco guy, and he reeled off Soch's zip code from where he grew up. But Ben reeled off Springfield, and Soch corrected him and said, no, 19070, Morton, Pennsylvania, which is around that same area. 0-2 pitch coming to Galvis. And a line drive to center field. Trout is over, makes the catch. Knapp's trying for third. The throw is not in time. Nice job by Andrew Knapp.
Yeah, good read, good jump, and you know, we talked about Andrew Knapp is for his speed for a catcher. I wonder if they're going to look at second base.
Yeah, they might.
Yeah, look at him. He read it off the bat. You kind of understand the ground that you can cover, or the ground that the center fielder can cover. Now we got some. There's a lot of options you can have here if you Pete. If you think Altair can put the ball in play, you send Cesar.
Maldonado has thrown out 32% of the runners trying to steal. Oh, 0-1, runners lead off first and third. Oh, he's late on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 0-2. Got a little long with that swing.
Yeah, there's a lot of, you know, he and Nick Williams, it's kind of been the book. If you're, you know, unless you're overpowering with the fastball like Middleton is, but They saw a lot of off-speed stuff from Nolasco. Now all of a sudden it's, let's dial this thing up a little bit at 97.
Well, they tried it again, 1-2.
I never bought into that, face a knuckleballer one day and then a guy throwing 90 whatever the next day. Two different pitchers gear up two different ways, right? Now, if you saw that in the same game like this, Nolasco was 90, 91, threw a lot of off-speed stuff. Now this guy's coming and blowing gas.
And Altair strikes out, 2 outs. Now 2 for 15 with runners in scoring position tonight.
Now this is going to be the fun matchup. We talked about Tommy, how he's been swinging a good bat. He can hit a fastball, but that's just, you know what, Aaron, if you want to hit it, if you want to drive in that run, you're going to have to hit 97, but I'm not going to throw you anything else. I mean, you have to wonder if can he command his secondary pitches to, especially with the runner on third. But Tommy's been hitting good. We talked about, how he's been on fastballs lately, so hopefully he can dial one up here.
Popped him up over toward first. Valbuena, not a lot of room there, and it's 0-1.
I think this tells you how explosive this young man's fastball is. He blew Aaron away with 3 of them, and now he's jammed Tommy on 2 of them. The only thing you can hope is they try to trick him and throw a slider and bounce it right now. I don't know why you'd want to go to anything else, though, would you?
I wouldn't. He tried it again, 98. These last couple of fastballs have been 98. Come on in, everybody.
Yeah, let's talk.
I mean, they're all coming in.
Wonder what the spread is after the game. Well, I don't know. We should ask our chef.
Candlesticks, silverware. Something's funny.
Yeah, maybe they're talking about organic food and couscous, quinoa, whatever it is. Chickpeas, hummus.
We learned that this year.
Yeah. I don't think there's ice cream or any cake products
being discussed.
Probably no pies laying down there on the,
0-2 pitch and a slider. Wow. He got Tommy Joseph looking, according to the home plate umpire. And after getting the first 2 runners on base, the Phils foul to score. Knapp is left at third. Hernandez left at first. We'll stretch here in Anaheim. 1-1. Phillies will go back to their bullpen tonight. Mark Leiter Jr. is coming out 1-2 with a 4.25 earned run average. Mark was added back to the roster a couple days ago. The Phillies roster has evolved and has lost some of its experience over the last several days, with Neshek being traded, Benoit being traded. That means it's a much younger bullpen, Murph, for the Phillies to deal with.
It's a much younger team, as you guys have mentioned earlier. In fact, the youngest team in Major League Baseball now, according to Elias. And, you take a look at their pitching staff. The oldest starter is Jared Eichhoff. He's just 26 years old. And as you mentioned, Tom, yes, a younger bullpen as well, with Neshek and Benoit gone. Luis Garcia will be the elder statesman out there. He is 30, but they had Drew Anderson, just 23 years old. Mark Leiter at 26. So, yeah, a very young group of guys. And I was talking to Bob McClure about that today, just in terms of leadership and experience level, and his concern, whether or not they need a guy out there that's had a lot of experience. He said at this point of the season, no, he's not worried about that at all. He said that leadership will develop amongst the young guys that are out there. He said it's not something he would ever talk about to his bullpen or his starting staff, for that matter. He says that's the kind of thing that just develops, and he'll let that develop organically, but he's not worried. He said, look, these guys, they've been around Neshek, they've been around Benoit, they've been around Jeremy Hellickson. They understand how to go about their business at this point of the year. He's just looking forward to working with these young guys and, kind of shaping them into the pitchers they're going to become over the next couple of years.
Yeah, and this may not be the exact bullpen for the rest of August. Certainly won't be in September. They'll probably add a couple more pieces. So it may even, maintain its youthfulness or even get younger, depending on who else they bring up. 1-2. Leiter down in the minor leagues, 2-1 with a 4.20 ERA. And there's a line drive base hit back through the middle. So Coward's aboard, and Escobar is coming up. Escobar is 2 for 3. Leiter with the big club, 1-2 with an ERA of 4.25. He made 3 starts. Before tonight, his last appearance as a Phil was on July 17th in Miami. Get Escobar moving a little bit on that one.
I think he was looking first pitch fastball. Didn't get it.
I don't think he's gotten a first pitch fastball tonight, kind of what you pointed out. That he is hunting those fastballs early on. There he gets it, and it's 1-1.
Ow.
That got the throwing hand of Andrew Knapp. Oh, it got the foot. The way he reacted with his hand, I thought it got his hand.
Yeah, you would. There's Cameron thinking, oh, do I have to go put my gear on? Hey, you see how his foot's pointed out, and it just got underneath that little flap that doesn't cover your entire foot. Now, they made padding to get the shoulders. Remember, that's
right.
New or recent. You would think they'd figure out a way to make something that
just covers
like a
the
hitter,
foot.
yeah, to cover the whole foot.
Curveball waved at. Escobar down on strikes, 1 away. But Escobar, I think he may have hurt himself.
Slow curveball by Mark Leiter. look like it's at one of those oblique deals.
Oh, now Trout is up.
Which I never knew existed until recently.
Oblique deals?
Never heard of it. You know, and when I was playing, you know, it was like he pulled a rib.
Right.
Which I'm certain you can't pull a rib.
Rib cage strain or something. At the knees, 0-1. Trout 1 for 2. He walked and scored back in the 5th inning. Two balls, 1 strike.
You got it. I think if you're Mark Leiter right here, you got to throw something off speed, I would imagine. See if you can get him to chase. Now what?
I think you got to try a fastball in or something. I mean, you can't. I don't know. Looks like they're going to go away with a fastball, and he rolls it over into the hole on the left side. That's his 2nd hit. First and second, 1 man down. Albert Pujols is the reason why the Phils trail it right now. Pretty good piece of hitting.
Yeah, he could hit a line drive to left field his last at bat. Nick Williams threw out Escobar, but that when he says, you know what, I'm going to go the other way. They want to shift on me in the outfield. I'll go the other way. And with speed on the base pass, both runners scored easily, and that kind of still where we stand.
Yes, we do.
2-1 ball game.
Yeah, the story tonight has been that hit, but also the pitching of Nolasco and the lack of production with runners in scoring position for the Phillies. See the defensive alignment again. It hasn't changed.
No, it's consistent. I think Aaron looked like Aaron Altherr might have moved over a little bit to his left or toward the right field line than he was in the previous at bat. This just looks like a big outfield, doesn't it? Like a.
Well, it's funny you say that. It does to a certain level, and then you look at center field, 396 to center field.
Yeah, I'm talking about like
the
from
corners,
foul line to foul line.
Yes. Inside, 1-1. Ballpark, at least the way they renovated, is designed a lot like Dodger Stadium in those corners with the small walls. Curveball, and it's a strike. 1-2. The same way Kauffman Stadium used to be before they kind of fixed or changed that.
What's all the blinking lights?
We were somewhere else where they were doing blinking lights, and I can't remember where it was. Check swing, 2-2.
We had a concert, maybe, huh?
Yeah, there was somewhere else we were this year where they said they do the blinking lights on the cell phone because they want the home team to know that they're supporting them. I don't know.
Cheering doesn't do that?
No. It's not enough. our crack research staff in the production cavity said that it's Arizona that they did it.
Or Jeff Halleckman, whichever.
Either one.
One you want to.
Fly ball toward the right field line in foul territory. Tommy Joseph is over and can't make the play. I don't know. Pujols with his 2 RBIs now has 1,882. Down the left field line, fair or foul. It is a fair ball home run. A 3-run shot. And the Angels now lead it 5-1. He's moved a step closer to 10th all-time in RBIs. He's now 8 away from Willie Mays for the number 10 spot. '60 interleague home runs, tied now with Paul Konerko. Valbuena takes inside. It's 1-0. I was kind of hoping that was going to start to hook a little bit. It just never did.
Yeah, from you said we're off angled here. I thought I had a good look at that one. I swore it straightened out. It looked like it started hooking, and it just straightened out, and just got inside that fair pole.
Well, that's a backbreaker.
Oh boy.
The way the Phillies offense has struggled today, that's a 4-run lead. It kind of seems like a 7-run lead. But Balbuena hit by the pitch, and that'll put a runner at first. Take a look again at the home run by Pujols.
Yeah, the hanging breaking ball that stayed middle in, and I mean, you see how his hands got inside that. You know, when you talk about inside the ball, it doesn't mean hitting the ball the other way. You know, you can keep those balls fair. The blinking lights, man, I tell you.
It's all about the blinking lights.
It's the rage.
It's going to get picked up all over the internet, and everybody's going to be doing it, John.
Starts on the West Coast and moves east. You know how that is.
Did they do that in the fan?
No. It's been a rough inning, though. Knapp gets hit. And Escobar tweaks something, and now Valbuena gets hit in the knee.
Leiter gives up a home run.
That hurt worse than anything as far as we're concerned.
That home run for Pujols, 608 now for his career. All right, so Simmons up. He's 1 for 3. Fouls it back. That's that heavy swing that you were talking about before.
Yeah, the off balance. And again, you know, maybe that's okay. First pitch, I'm going to take a shot, and now I'm going to shorten up. And I haven't seen him play enough this year to see if you know if he's doing that or not.
Curveball, and it's 0-2.
Tell you what, whoever that guy is that's yelling at the umpire, every pitch, like, he's not missing every pitch.
No, he's had a good night.
He had a good night.
Bouncer back toward the mound. Leiter has it to second for 1, over to first, not in time. By the way, just to point out, as Murph pointed out before, the gentleman who is yelling is off to the first base side, so he doesn't really see everything as clearly as the home plate umpire. Young Quinn Walcott.
Yeah, it's funny when the whole stadium will boo on a close pitch. There's sometimes we're watching on TV, we can't tell.
31 years old. He worked the postseason last year as a 30-year-old umpire. He became an umpire at the age of 19. 19. And he's been in the majors since he was 28. Ben Revere takes in 1-1.
That 4-run lead helps Mike Scioscia save closer situation, doesn't it?
Well, yes.
So far.
But Bud Norris did give up a couple of grand slams.
Yeah, we'll take one.
There you go.
Eric. He is.
Not looking at it objectively, but there you go.
Yes, he is. He might be the guy that works for Major League Baseball that rates the umpire. Who knows? Probably won't get a phone call for that.
2-2 as he throws a changeup to Revere.
Tell you, he's the happiest man in the world. Middleton got out of that last inning after Andrew Knapp hit that line drive at him and he misplayed into a double.
Runner goes, pitches low, throw to second base is there in time, but Simmons slides in safely. He's in scoring position with the stolen base. I think Freddie may have just missed the tag on it.
Yeah, Knapp got it out quick. High throw was just a touch high.
Good slide.
Yeah. I mean, he missed him. He got around it.
Broken back ground ball. Cesar throws out Ben Revere. Inning is over. 7 men come to the plate, but the most important one was Albert Pujols. He has all 5 RBIs tonight. He took a curveball and then he ripped it right down the line just inside the pole. We'll head to the 8th inning. The Phils have their work cut out for them, down 5-1. Brought to you by your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer. Visit DelValHondaDealers.com. And by WB Mason. Who bought WB Mason for fast, free delivery? Nobody does it better. Well, the Phillies trail it now 5-1 as we go to the top half of the 8th inning at the Big A here in Anaheim. We'll see if they're able to do anything offensively. Time now for our Hyundai defensive play of the game.
Yeah, and what thought was going to keep the Phillies in the lead right here, which it did. Hard hit ball by Albert Pujols. Nick Williams, though, comes up, makes a perfect throw to nail Yunel Escobar. And that's our Hyundai defensive play of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealer.
Cowart moves over to third base. Pennington is at second base for the Angels. Shane Robinson takes over in right field. And the new pitcher is Blake Parker. Parker delivers upstairs, 1-0. Parker's numbers 3 and 2, 2.14 earned run average. Ricky Velasco started this ball game for the Angels, went 6 innings, allowed 1 earned run. Odubel shoots it to short, backhanded by Simmons. 1 out. Nine errors this year for Andrelton Simmons. Gets to a lot of baseballs.
Third baseman, number 7, Michael Fama.
Braves signed him. They weren't sure if they were going to make him a pitcher or a shortstop because he threw in the upper 90s on the mounds. I think they made the right decision.
Now, at some point, don't you think there's going to be a position player? Granted, you never want to take a great fielding shortstop and put him in as a closer, but wouldn't you think at some point? Like we heard Adam LaRoche threw in the mid 90s,
yeah,
and Freddie Freeman, and you know, wouldn't you think at some point that's going to happen?
Yeah, I would. The kid that was drafted this year in the first round, some people thought that, but they say that he can't really hit a curveball, but he throws nearly 100. Or the kid from Japan, the Otani kid from Japan, who may be posted at the end of this year. He pitches in Japan and obviously hits in Japan as well.
I'd
2-1.
I'd like to see someone get on base and see how Parker does all the
The movement.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, I mean, if there's someone on base, there has to be some box in there somewhere, doesn't there?
There it is. There's a lot of fidgeting. Fly ball left field. It's not deep. And Revere is under it.
Left fielder, number 5, Nick Williams.
Blake Parker is out of Fayetteville, Arkansas. Originally the property of the Chicago Cubs. Yeah, there's a lot of movement going on. It's kind of like Nishak to a certain extent, although Nishak does stop.
Yeah, it looks like he stops a couple times, and then when he comes stop the second time, he takes the deep breath. Like, could that be misconstrued as making a movement toward home? We know he's just trying to breathe. I mean,
man has to breathe, John.
Well, it's pretty vital. I mean, only if you like living.
.93, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Broke back ground ball to shortstop. Simmons charges and throws out Williams. 1, 2, 3. Go the Phils here at the top of the 8th inning. We will go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 5-1 Angels. Simmons putting on a little bit of a show. Monday, September 25th, when the Phillies take on the Washington Nationals. That is a 7:05 first pitch. But please come out to celebrate the music and the history of the Beatles at Citizens Bank Park. Go to Phillies.com/theme nights for more information. And if you buy a ticket that day through the theme night page, you get that hat right there.
They can't come to play. Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney and Ringo.
Can,
they're talking.
Yeah, they've
not about coming.
Not coming to Philly.
Probably bring a lot of people in though. Here's Drew Anderson to make his major league debut. Anderson this year in Reading, 19 starts, 7-4 with a 3.76 earned run average. How about when he was told that he was being promoted, he told his teammates and they said, "Oh, you're going to Lehigh Valley?" He goes, "No, I'm going to Anaheim." Coming from Double-A right to the big leagues.
Why not? Explosive arm, right?
Explosive arm. 93, and Maldonado fouls it back. Tommy John surgery. That slowed his progress. His mom and dad were hoping to get here, making the 8-hour trip from Nevada. Outside.
Where at Nevada?
That's a good question. Let's do a little research here.
I go pick them up. Might not get here till like next week, but
you can get back by tomorrow. You leave after the game tonight.
But why would I? It's Vegas.
Good point. Vegas, baby.
Or Reno, either one. Played in both beautiful cities.
It's in Reno. Yeah.
Had a good time in Reno playing there.
Full year?
Yep.
Half year?
Yeah. No, full year.
Fly ball right center field. On the run is Herrera. Out toward the wall. He'll jump and he makes the catch. Fairly athletic play by Odubel Herrera. And one out here in the 8th inning.
Odubel, not sure he knew quite where he was on that one, but again, warning tracks have different widths. Sometimes it's 2 steps and then you crash in the wall. Sometimes it's 2.5. think that one's 2.5.
Yeah. There's Pennington, the veteran Cliff Pennington. Drew Anderson last year pitched on 2 levels coming back from Tommy John surgery, or pitched with 2 teams on 1 level in Single A, Lakewood and Clearwater. And then the Phillies saw him this past year in spring training, and Pete Buchanan liked him. Liked the way the ball left his hand, a little free and easy. Down the left field line, that'll slice into the crowd. And now 2-2.
Hey, you look at Anderson's mechanics, and it looks pretty mechanically sound, but yet he still had Tommy John. Yeah, that's a hard thing. You know, they try to say there's, you know, if your mechanics are sound, you're less chance of hurting your arm, but if it's going to go, it's going to go.
Line drive base hit for Pennington. Well, one of the things he worked on while being out on Tommy John surgery is to, you know, tighten up his mechanics a little bit.
Yeah, they're good. Nice, you know, he lands on balance. You know, he's standing on a mound, so he throws downhill, which, assuming it'd be really difficult to throw it uphill from there, but
somebody's going to come up with that style.
Throwing uphill?
Yeah.
Well, who was that? Was it Cliff Lee that would throw a couple pitches from behind the mound?
Behind the mound.
So he was throwing uphill.
Yeah, pretty much.
If his front foot was landing on the up on the slope.
They have this drill that they do with Hector Neris, where he goes to the back of the mound and steps up the hill and then tries to get on top of that split. Ground ball foul. Alfredo Griffin is handling it over at first. Mickey Morandini has the edge tonight. Troy Scribner is warming up in the bullpen.
Hey, at least he tried for it. Our first base coaches kind of doesn't move.
Nope, unless it's hit right at him. Said to him, remember that ball yesterday that went between the coach's box and first base? I said, I thought you were going to dive for that one. He goes, I was thinking about moving. Another base hit. This one into right field. Pennington holds up at second. So first and second hit of the night for Cowart. And that'll send us back to the top of the order. Greg Murphy getting us updated on what's going on around baseball. Murph.
Unlimited baseball break time presented by T-Mobile. What a day it was for Cubs pitcher John Lester. He stepped to the plate in the 3rd inning, 2-2 count, and unleashed his first home run of his career in his 196th plate appearance in the big leagues. His first major league home run. At that point, the Cubs were leading 8-1. But later in the game, well, he did what he gets paid to do, his 2,000th strikeout in his career as well. So quite a day for him. Max Scherzer also hit his first major league home run today, but he had to leave in the 2nd inning for the Washington Nationals with neck spasms, and that's lost that game. And Evan Longoria became the 2nd Tampa Bay Ray to ever hit for the cycle. He needed a double in the 9th inning to get the cycle. He was called out at second base. They went to the replay. Replay overturned it. Safe at second. Second cycle for the Rays. That's your unlimited baseball break presented by T-Mobile, guys.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that. By the way, Howie Kendrick was 5 for 5 in that game for the Nationals. Runners go. The ball goes right down the left field line. 6-1. In favor of the Angels. 4th error of the year for Knapp.
Yeah, Knapp just pulled it. You know, nothing else to say about it. Pulled it, got past him, and
now the infield is in with the Angels up 6-1. Cowart got to 3rd on that. Inside, 3-1. Mike Trout on deck. To right field. Altair is there, makes the catch. Tagging from third is Cowart. The throw to the plate not in time. 7-1 Angels on top. Sacrifice fly.
I'm certain this isn't the way Drew Anderson had it drawn up for his big league debut.
Trout's average up to .336 with his 2 hits tonight. Whoop. It got away. Inside, 2-1. Getting that crisp break on that curveball. Oh, that's a good one.
Like to see him try to get that down and away, though.
Fastball swung on and foul tipped, and Trout strikes out. First career strikeout for Drew Anderson, but the Angels scored 2 more. We'll go to the ninth. Phil's down 7-1. Drew Anderson's major league debut is in the books. 2 runs, 1 earns. Following the ball game, Marshall Harris, Ricky Batalka, Corey Seidman are standing by for Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies post-game live, talking about Aaron Nola tonight and also the lack of Phil's offense after having a great start to the second half of the season. The Phillies offense has been quiet here tonight. Aaron Nola, only the 5th Phillies starting pitcher since 1913 to toss at least 6 innings and allow 2 earned runs or fewer in 8 consecutive starts. As Troy Scribner will take over for the Angels. He went 3 innings, about 3 hits and 2 runs on Saturday against the Blue Jays. And he will face Kim to start things off. Out of play, and it's 1-1. Scribner is out of Connecticut and Sacred Heart University. And upstairs, 2-1. Bobby Valentine's still the AD at Sacred Heart University?
I believe so, yes.
2-2.
He's a funny man. I got along great with him, working with him.
Yeah, he is. He's still the AD. Way upstairs, 3-2.
That one brief year he managed the Red Sox, I drove up to Fort Myers to see him.
That's when things were going well.
Well, it was spring training, yeah. But I drove up there and I'm pulling in the parking lot. I'm looking for a parking spot, not paying attention. And there's this knucklehead on a bike. It comes right out in front of me and I almost hit him. And he starts yelling and cursing at me. And it was Bobby.
It was right after that Red Sox tenure that he wound up going to Sacred Heart.
And Mike Scioscia's happy about that.
That walk.
7-1 lead. Walked the leadoff hitter in the 9th.
0-1. Knapp is 1 for 3, doubled his last time up.
Boys must have left their bats on the plane flight out here, huh?
Yeah, they've had base runners, but
yeah,
they've left 9, but struggling with runners in scoring position. Curved ball bounced towards second, could be 2. Knapp does run well. There's 1 and 2. Boy, Valbuena, somebody's got to give him a little bit of a lesson on footwork over at first base. He's going to break a foot or an ankle.
Yeah, I see a little different turn with Pennington over there at second base. Guy who's played a lot of second base. Can you imagine having him and Odubel on the same team?
Valbuena?
Yeah. You'd laugh a lot.
Yes, you would. The other team would probably get aggravated.
Well, you know what? The heck with them.
0-1.
So they cancel each other out since they're on the opposing teams?
That's right. 1-1. To left field. Ben Revere is there, and the Phillies' 5-game winning streak is over. The Angels continue their dominance over the Phils. 10 consecutive interleague victories over the Philadelphia Phillies, as they win it tonight 7-1. Albert Pujols, his first 5 RBI games since the 19th of July in 2016. He is our Chevrolet player of the game. 7 runs on 13 hits for the Angels, 1 run on 8 hits for the Phils. Phils left 9, the Angels left 7. Our WB Mason deliveries of the game, well, it's all about Albert Pujols. And John, you kind of foreshadowed this in his previous at-bats.
Yeah, he hit that ball hard his last at-bat. The previous at-bat, Nick Williams threw the guy out, but you know, you had a feeling with that big hole over there, and if they weren't going to pitch him in, he could hit that hole. And then, of course, Mark Leiter hangs him a little breaking ball middle in, and he hits that 3-run homer and put this game out of reach.
So the Phillies lose it 7-1. The Angels take game 1 of this 3-game series. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this.